Okay, welcome back to the Palooka Watch channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm kind of new to this hobby and collecting and homage watches and all that sort of thing. Quick wrist check for you. I went ahead and picked up on a very good deal this all black 55 fathom Seiko. I'm not replacing my favorite at the moment with the blue dial. I just found a good deal, and I was looking for one with a black date and day window because I may decide to mod this with a 55 fathoms dial, and I put this black band on it. It's very cool. That's not what we're here to talk about right now. We're here to talk about what's in this box. So this is another True North collection watch. I've become pals with the owner. He enjoyed the video I did on this beautiful kind of a Tourneck Revel look-alike. It's very, very cool. I did a video the other day where I opened up the back, and I wanted to point out that the reason you see the plastic movement is because the owner comes from the modding world. And if you are taking those screws out all the time to mod the watches, you can lose them real easy. And it's funny, I've been thinking about doing that, and that's exactly what I think about when I look at the videos that people do. I'm like, man, I could lose one of those screws so easy. And that's the reason he puts the plastic movement in. He's really big on aging the loom on these and making them look like an old piece. Okay, but again, not what we're here to talk about. Oh, look at that, the back sticker fell off that. I got to put it back on there. Okay, let's get to this. Picked this up in Germany. Oh man, in the early 90s. I brought two of them back on the carry-on, believe it or not. Those were the days. Let's see here. Now this watch is very exciting. We had this whole thing, and I told him I'm not a fan of busy dials or quartzes or anything, or even the chronographs. The only reason for it is because I never thought I could afford one. And then he mentioned the Paul Newman watch. Now, this is not packaged exactly as it would be if you bought it, okay? He was giving this to me for, free. And so he told me that. Typically, this would be in a box. Just grab this box here. It's off to the side. It would typically come probably in this box right here, which is what the that Tourneck Revel looking, the blackfish he calls it, comes in. Also, the way it would typically come, if you want the Paul Newman version, it will be on a black bund strap. And this one is not going to be. He's almost out of those. Keep in mind, Christmas is coming up here. So if you like these watches, feel free to go to the True North Watch website and buy one. He's holding on to them. He doesn't have a lot in stock right now, the bund straps. So he says I will get one, though. Although I will probably make my own. I still would like his for this watch so that it's the way it should be if you're a Paul Newman fan. This doesn't want to just slide out of there. I guess we got some friction. Probably some plastic on here. It's making it sticky. Just fold it down. And grab this bracelet and try pulling it out of here. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay. All right. Let's try not to scratch the watch mic. Now, the beauty of this watch here is that the owner is adamant about the dimensions. So the dimensions on this watch are exactly what you find in the Rolex 6239. And I learned so much speaking with him about this particular watch. It was actually originally called the Cosmograph. It was not called a chronograph. They were trying to get NASA to buy this watch. It is a quartz movement. It's there's a name for it. It's called a mecha quartz movement. We're going to get the calipers out and measure the whole thing here. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, there's plastic on it. I'm so new to this. The Palooka, hey yo, Palooka Watch channel. Gee whiz. It's my first time undoing the plastic on a band here. I buy all the watches I have used. Let me peel this off, I'll get back to you. And we're back. That was tedious. Okay. Let's go ahead and set this to the correct time. There's no, is there no? No, there's no date on this. It is currently about 1:20 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Is it right? Let me just double check my Seiko. It's 1:26. Sorry. And we're good. Just getting some close-ups of it for you here. It's got this bubble crystal on there. Oh, it's got that little protector on the crown. I'll have to pull those. Oh, yeah, protectors on all the little push buttons. And keep in mind, I've never, ever, ever played with a chronograph. Interestingly, I didn't know it, but weeks ago when I was on the radio show with Magic Matt Allen, Outlaw Radio, I was sitting next to Robert Carradine for 3 hours, and he was wearing an original Rolex Daytona, which looked exactly like this. I had no idea. And it was funny because he kind of looked at me funny. He could tell I was into watches, but he thought it was odd, I think, that I didn't know what the Daytona was. Let's see what happens if I push this button here. And there's your chronograph working. Push it again. Yep, it stops. So that's neat. I don't know what this little one does. Oh, it resets it. Hey, I just figured it out. What do you know? Hey, I'm pretty smart for a Palooka. Let's let that go. I'm going to stop it. Okay, now I'm going to push this bottom button. It resets it. Well, now I know how that works. Okay. Really, really cool. I don't know what else is going on here. So I'll have to figure all this out, I suppose. I'm going to look it up online. This really is just an unboxing, and I'm showing this off to you so you can see the details. Now, I was told that somebody had one of these watches, and they were able to put the bezels from an actual Rolex on this case. That's how precise the measurements are. It does have drilled lugs. Beautiful polishing here. The insert looks nice. I want to get a tighter zoom. I don't know if I can. Okay, so a little stop in the video there. Okay, this one's in good shape. So I'm sorry for moving it around so much. Let me see if I could do some. Hang on. There we go. So what I was looking at, I saw this watch on another reviewer's channel. I was trying to explain it to the owner. This one is working fine. The pivot point for that little second hand that's moving right there, at the pivot point at the center, on the review I saw, that was moving. And on this one, it's nice and stationary. So I'm very pleased to see that. Nobody else mentioned that in the other video. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I just wanted to point that out. So we've got this bubble crystal on here. I love that with the distortion. I can't speak enough about this watch or to some of the ideas here that others do when it comes to the Rolex Daytona, because, you know, they're huge fans of it. I don't know what all the differences are between this one and the original, other than I know that the original, I believe it said Daytona above this bottom subdial. They'll call this the Panda for obvious reasons, right? Gosh, it really is beautiful. It, you know, these watches originally were like $250. These were tool watches. These were used to time things. Doctors wanted these. People, you know, racing wanted these things. But then, you know, as things go, iconic people wear them, and then they become more popular. And by the way, watch companies would oftentimes give their watches to famous people, or again, trying to get NASA astronauts to wear one on the moon, that sort of thing. They're doing that on purpose because that's how you get sales, right? Everybody wants the watch that Paul Newman wore, or everybody wants the watch that Steve McQueen wore, right? That's what that is. Pretty soon you guys will be wearing the watches I'm wearing, right? I'll do a collaboration with this guy in the future. We'll do a Palooka. We'll do a Palooka Joe version or something. Joe Palooka watch. It'll be tough. I'll tell you that much. So, I mean, what this really is a modern interpretation of what's called the Valjoux. That was the original watch. That was the movement. Rolex didn't make the original movement. That movement was made by Valjoux. It was, some people say Singer or Singer. They're stamped that way when you open up a Rolex, the early Rolexes, but they're actually Valjoux movements. That's what I was told. Yeah, I think I've covered all that. Let's see. The back is, plain, the sticker's still on it. There's no printing, no information on the back. It's just highly polished. He does have the True North logo on the crown. You're seeing my reflection in there. That's how highly polished it. It's funny, with my eyesight I can't see it, but here on Zoom, clear as day. I'm going to put this on the wrist. I'm sure I'm going to need to size this. Zoom out here for you. This is what it looks like on 7 5/8 inch wrist. It's a small watch, but exactly to the correct specs. There's plenty of links on here. For this being a 7 5/8 inch wrist, you could see somebody with an 8-inch wrist could wear this watch. Get the switchblade out of the way. I don't want to keep freaking anybody out. I don't know how you guys feel about my pocket dump everyday carry video from yesterday. I probably already freaked a bunch of people out there. Yeah, let's measure it. All right, let's get the specs on this here. Make sure I'm zeroed. So your case diameter on this, .38 looks like. The thickness, all right, with that dome, it's 12.9. Let's get your lug to lug on here. 43.3. I was told this is 19 millimeter lug. Well, now I don't know if that's correct. Let's measure it this way. 19.7. I think that's a 20 millimeter then, probably. I don't know if that's, I'm looking at the watch, not through the screen, so if I'm not centered there. I think this is closer to a, yeah, that's a 20 millimeter lug right there. It's a curved lug, right, to fit around the case. It's a nice look. It's light. It's not a heavy watch. Looks like, where are those screws there? Looks like they might be screws. I don't know if they're screws or push pins. It did not come with a manual, but I can get one from them. So if I can't push those out, I'll try using one of my little watch screwdrivers. So I do want to resize this to fit my wrist. Although I am going to be looking to get the Paul Newman Bund band. He has a guy here in LA make them for him. But stay tuned, because I'm going to be posting another video after this one, because my buddy Chris from Broadwinger Shoes, or Broadwinger Boots, Barefoot Boots, sent me a gigantic box of leather. We'll get into that in the next video. So yeah, totally cool, man. Very, very cool. And this is, I got to tell you, I watched another video, which technically is probably a much better video than mine. I'm not that full of myself, but I got to tell you that I'm seeing a cleaner, better version right here in my hands than what I saw in that other video. In the other video, that subdial there in the center. Oh, hang on. The owner's calling me right now. I'm going to take the call. Okay, so very funny. Here I am measuring, getting the specs for you, and the owner called me to tell me Oh, the original had 19 mil lug width. We did 20 because he thought it would be easier for him to find this bracelet with the curved end link. And I said to him, I said, well, every watch channel I'm watching, when they look at these homage watches, they all prefer a 20 millimeter lug. He said he's going to be coming out with an automatic that will have the 19-inch lug width. And also, I measured this. That was the bezel width. Let's get underneath here and get a measurement of this width without the bezel. And now we're at 37. Yeah, okay. I see. So the actual case, the case dimension from the side here to the side, that is 37. You gain a millimeter if you're just measuring the bezel. For those of you that care that much about it. I love it. This officially is my classiest watch. Before this, my classiest watch, probably two I would pick. One would be my Seiko Land Tortoise, which I bought used, it's a little beat up. And that Aragon with all the movements, and it's an automatic, and it's 500 meter water resistance. It's got the visible power reserve and all that on it. This is my one and only chronometer, Cosmograph. I'm going to call it a Cosmograph. That's what it is to me. It's a Cosmograph. Now that I have that information, so I will keep calling it that. This will be probably the only one I ever own. And I'm going to call, or I'm going to contact, or attempt to contact Robert Carradine and be like, hey, man. Nah. Okay, it's not a Rolex. But I got one, too. Which does not make me as cool as he is. But, a close second, man. Close second. Again, drilled lugs. That's a very nice thing. For those of you that don't know, it just makes it a lot easier to change bands, which I will be doing when I get the Paul Newman Bund leather strap. Let me loom this thing up, try to find a dark spot for it, and show you what that looks like. Wow. This is obviously not a dive watch, so it's far better loomed than what I expected it would be. It's just my little closet here. I'm so pro. I'm moving it around because I like the idea of you seeing this from different angles. I like that bubble. I love the way a domed crystal distorts the dial when you're looking at it from the side. When we do a Palooka watch, that's what we're going to do. Very cool, man. I have to commend this guy on this because I don't know. I've never handled a genuine Rolex Daytona Cosmograph, and because of that, I don't know what to expect with the loom and all that. But I'm very pleased with it. It doesn't even need to have loom on it when you think about it. So yeah, there you have it. Again, it's a dimensionally, it's supposed to match up to the Rolex 6239, right? The Cosmograph. I love that. From now on, every time I see one of these, even when I see a Rolex on someone, that is what I'm going to call it. And they're going to say, no. This is a chronograph. I'm going to say, no. It's a Cosmograph. Matter of fact, that's what you're going to see in the title. It's too cool. Let's do this. So benefits of quartz, right? Super accurate. Super accurate. You can get a thinner watch case, lighter, all those benefits. Up until this moment, I had courses when I was young, obviously. I mentioned it before in other videos. And the thing about those watches for me in the old days was I couldn't just change the battery easily. You'd have to bring it somewhere, and that was always kind of a hassle. So you wouldn't do it, and the watch would go in the drawer, and you'd forget about it, and that was it. So when I got my first automatic, blew my mind. Now, of course, again, I mentioned when I was in the service, I wore G-Shocks, and as a carpenter, when I first started, I wore out the one G-Shock. I got another one. They were worn out, but mostly it was the battery going bad and me not getting around to putting one in. So that's why I kind of prefer automatics. But this is just super cool. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm watching what's happening. Is this moving? Is that what's happening here? So the chronograph, so it's moved 1 minute. I think that's what that is. So this must be a timer on the timer. On the cosmograph. Okay, on the chronograph. So let's let this go for a minute while I keep blathering, right? Wasting your time. Am I wasting your time? Are you guys not entertained here? Just wanted to say that this is super cool for me. Again, the Palooka Watch Channel thing started as a kind of a goof more than anything else. But now it's legitimate. Now it's legit. So stay tuned on that. I do have an idea for some ways to make some products. Look at this. This is exactly what's happening. Am I imagining things? No, that little dial's moving, right? Right here? Is that dial moving? Anyhow, I'm going to get off here. I don't want to. You don't want to keep staring at the face of this watch, even though it is super beautiful. I'm going to put a link to the True North Watch Company in the description of this video. And if you dig on it, I mean, go there and check it out. See what this guy does. You know, what I didn't know is that what you see on the website is a fraction of what he's done. This guy he's been involved in all sorts of cool stuff, all the stuff I always ever wanted to do. So to meet somebody and get to know them, and they're actually out there doing the things with their lives that you know, I always wanted to do more of. It's inspiring. So for sure that subdial on the far left there is moving. So that's what it's doing. It's timing the actual minutes, which is super cool. Let me think what else is going on here. I guess that's a 24-hour on the side there. So, okay. All right. Yeah, my mind is all over the place because I'm thinking about the leather bun strap, and I have this giant box of leather open, so I want to get to that. But I hope you guys dig on this. It's just, you know, cool is cool. You just can't deny it. I like the logo. Since I got it down here with the zoom, let's just really quick. I just can't stop talking. It's a problem. I want you to look at the indices and how they're applied to that little ring around the outer edge. Again, these are all things that I suppose if you are a Rolex owner, collector, feel free to chime in about what you're noticing. It's a beautiful case. It seems too nice for a Palooka, doesn't it? I don't know, can a Palooka pull this off? Can a Palooka pull off the Cosmograph? I'm going to get one of those plastic space helmets and wear that around and smoke a cigar and see if I can mount a fedora to the top of the plastic space helmet. And I think I'm just going to start driving the van like that. It is an Astro van. It kind of fits in. The Cosmograph in the Astro van. Oh my God. I'm falling in love with all the ridiculous thoughts I'm having in my mind right now. Anyhow. I'm tickled. There will be a follow-up on this. You know, I'm going to attempt the band myself. But when he has one available, I want one of his. I do. I want to make this correct from the True North Watch Company, what they sell you with that leather bun band that Paul Newman wore. And when I do that, I'll get some screen captures of Paul Newman in the watch with the leather band. It's hard for me to tell. Are those hands gold? It looks like the hands in the chronograph second hand sweeping motion you're seeing there looks like it's in gold. It's hard to tell sometimes because the light is reflecting other things in the room. I also want you to look at the hands. They're not just flat. They have a bevel to the tops of them. A lot of nice detail. I wish I knew more about the Rolex so I could say, oh, that's spot on. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. I have my readers on, and I'm looking through the screen, trying to detect something here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. Bear with me. This video is never going to end. For some of you, that's awesome because you don't want it to. And we're having problems with the focus again. I don't know why it does that. Okay, here we go. Well, I guess I won't be able to. It just looked to me like... Oh my gosh. Can you hear my frustration with this? It's very hard to do this. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Yeah, something odd going on there with that zoom. I'm trying to see the subdials, the edges of the circles and the subdials. This is me being like super... I'll see it better on the computer screen, I suppose, when I watch this back to myself. They look nice and clean. I saw this another video of this watch, and I saw a lot of imperfections in that version. This is not a knock on the company or anything. It could have just been an early version of the watch that wasn't as refined as this one. I can't find any problems with this watch, which is good. That's what you want. Gosh, it does look nice. And I've been talking now for, what, 7 minutes? Is that what that's telling us? Since I hit that chronometer. Let's stop it. Let me back out of here. Let's play. Let's play with the cosmograph here. Okay. Stop. Now we're going to reset it right here. Boom. Subdial reset. Man, that's so cool. That is so cool. You know what's a little scary about it is that's the sort of thing you just want to play with now. So I wonder if there's a limit to that. Like, can you overdo it? Can you basically break the thing if you're playing with it too much? Let's hope that's not how it works with everything. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, listen, let me let you go. Thanks again for being here. I promise I'm going to get better at this. I think this was a little jittery at first, and if you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. There will be more to come. I actually have other watches that I have not even done reviews on yet. I just have too much work to do and other interests, so bear with me. I will get to them. There are 3 watches coming I think you guys are going to dig on, and that is it for now. So once again, as I always say, have a great day. Be kind to one another, right? Like the Dalai Lama says, be the change you want to see, right? And